Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild, and today we take a look at another solution that I got, or with the help of Srabish, the good guy, coming in and throwing other ideas at me that I personally didn't really consider, but we'll take a look at one of the things that he had in mind, and I basically set in place and I did a bit of creative stuff. So we will go into another world. Normally I don't do that, but this time prices for a failure are pretty high. So I thought maybe I should take a look at the concept in a creative world. So this thing, I get still asked, by the way, about merge blocks, and again, I will not use merge blocks. I'm, for one, not a monstrous fan of them, and the problem with them is that merge blocks have a very specific use, and I use them for that. So if I want to connect grids basically permanently, then merge blocks are absolutely fine. But if you just want to have them for docking, you have to constantly rename the smaller grid. You have to convert them from station to ship and the other way around and all that stuff. And this is just too much hassle for me when I can just use connectors, disconnect them, and then fly away, basically. I also had someone pointing out that if the connector strength is a problem, or he assumed that connector strength is a problem, I just wanted to say no, connector strength is here no problem. Again, connectors on pistons are weaker for some reason, so flying away with the ship is not a thing. She said, just turn them off and then you can fly away. I know that, but thanks for mentioning that. The connectors are not the problem here. Positioning the ship is. And for that, Srabish had an idea, and we will take a look at that now. Let me go over there. Okay, we are now in the small test world I have, and you can see that it is pretty empty because, again, I don't test. No, I normally don't test in creative, but here again the stakes were a bit high, and so the damage model, by the way, is turned off too. I had some, let's say it that way, some pretty crashy results. So what you can see here is I have a mock-up of the docking arms basically, and I have a lot of gravity generators, and we will take a look at what I have here. I'm doing this also to hopefully please Srabish and get him to approve my idea and basically say, okay, that's at least a bit of the right thing I have done here. Maybe he can improve what I have here. But what you can see is a model with gravity gens. I have turned on the gravity range. Here it is the same. Turn on, show on HUD, then the gravity range will show up on your HUD. So what I have here is a mock-up of a ship with mass blocks where basically at the same distance to each other as the gravity generators are. And what we can do now is, and we need to improve that, and I will do that in a second to test some stuff. What I can do now is position the ship between the arms and in the gravity fields, and now turn on the mass blocks. And what we should see is that the ship gets pulled into place and out of place. Yeah, again, there are still a few things that we need to take a look at. here the problem is that I have to have some gravity that pulls, and let me turn this off. I have to have some gravity that pulls the ship basically to each side, and we will go there and do that. By the way, this completely happened automatically, so the ship wasn't flown by me, at least not when it behaved the way it should. But you can see here these gravity generators basically pull to the outsides, and that's a symmetrical setup. So there's another one, pulls to the outside. So the ship gets pulled on this side to here, on this side to here. If that fits, the ship should stay pretty level in there, not level in the middle. Better say it that way. These gravity fields pull it in, and that is this gravity generator. And then I have a gravity generator that basically not pulls, pushes to the other side, and that's here. So it ends here. So the ship gets slowly pulled in with 1/4 G, and then gets basically rejected by these ones by the full amount that's in there. I need to do that because if you put 10 Gs here, it accelerates, not 10 Gs, 1 G here, it accelerates, and then it is absolutely possible this gravity generator is not strong enough to stop it immediately, and then you have a big crash fest that happens somewhere here. So then I have 2 gravity generators here and here, and 2 here and here, that basically push the whole thing into the middle. That's a pretty neat thing, because I just need these 2 on each side to keep it in a basically straight line. They you can see that here they both end at this point. It might even be possible to leave a bit more of a gap between them. Here on this side you can see that the ship, if it is active, wobbles a bit. So if I turn it on, you can see that it gets constantly pushed away and then gets pulled in again, and that makes this wobbling. So you can turn that off at one point. So what I have here is a pretty easy way to park the ship. It's not perfect, because you can see it rolls a bit, and that might be fixed by maybe having it so that you have 2 mass blocks basically that pull the ship in. Let's say it that way. So if I could have what I could do is, don't know, maybe have 2 pairs of these, one up here, one down there, that pull two mass blocks in, one up here, one down here, and then it gets pulled in and basically levels out on this gravity line. So if they are set up in the right way, then you should pull it straight in. Oh, I touched the microphone. You should pull it straight in, and it should level out basically on this line then. This is at the moment a proof of concept, and again a bit of a way to confirm with Srabish if that's basically the idea he had. Because the idea was, I didn't think about that. We talked about a bit using the gravity drive to pull the ship in, and my idea was not to use the original gravity drive, but use again two mass blocks. Maybe if the ship is bigger, use a cluster of mass blocks to pull the ship in, so that the gravity drive is basically untouched by this stuff. This whole thing is really scary for me because I saw this thing crashing into the station with pretty high forces, high speed, and it works out pretty well, but I'm not completely sure if the whole thing is safe. So you were able to see that pulling it in, you still need to be at the right angle, basically put it in straight, so this one doesn't pull in first and then this one comes after that. I still need to figure out how to set up the sizes of the gravity fields. For example, I want to definitely make the one that centers the whole ship here. I want to make that bigger, so it starts to center the whole ship a lot earlier. And that also counts for the ones on the side. So maybe make it in a way where the whole side thing is a bit bigger, so that we don't get uneven pulls here. One thing I don't like about it is that in the station you will have weird gravity fields. So in the docking arms, or not in the docking arms, in the tunnel, the corridor that comes from the station to the docking, you run into pretty crazy gravity fields then. And that's that's I fear that I at one point just don't know, forget to press something or want to fly away, and then suddenly I'm shot against walls or so. But works out. It works out. It is neat. We can definitely work with stuff like that. With the monster, the big ship, the whole process should be pretty slow and should work out pretty fine. Although you can see that a very small gravity drive that I have in the ship is able to pull on that thing pretty hard. Again, I want to keep this video a bit shorter. I'm a bit sick and I wanted to show this off and again get the confirmation that my idea here is right and that we are on the same page there. Maybe some people of you also have something to say about that. I like the concept. This is a pretty neat one because again, it makes docking pretty easy, and I get the whole ship at least into a position the precision of this. I'm not sure if the precision of this is really where it should be. You can see that when the ship gets pulled in, by the way, without the mass blocks, and that's one of the neat things. You can just fly away with the mass blocks. It then gets brought in. You can see that the ship rolls. We need to definitely do something about that. And here you can see that the precision is not the best. There's still things that can happen if you're not precisely at a space where you should be. And then if you release the mass blocks to get rid of the shaking, then it it still moves a bit. More thrusters, more gyros could prevent that, and having a heavier ship. The question here is if the precision is high enough so that then the docking arms, not the docking arms, the pistons can come in and pull the ship into the absolute right space where it should be. But I really like the concept, so we can test that. But first I want to maybe make more tests with this one. Again, going into a survival world, building something like this, and then blowing up the Empress, that wouldn't be a thing I would really like. So, how can we prevent the ship from rolling? My idea again is to have 4 points where the gravity grabs, and have again four of these lines. So one down here, one up here, to have a mass block here and here basically get pulled in, not equally. Equally? No, equally is not the right word. Have it been pulled in on 4 lines makes it possible so that then the ship should not roll, at least. Again, that makes getting into the whole thing a bit more complicated. I could set up now 10, 20 gravity generators that pull and push and do all that stuff. But also here I want to go with the least amount of gravity gens. So I need ideas for having the ship not roll. Then can we improve, or is there a way, that's the next question, to improve the precision where the ship lands in the end? What I need to do is stress test it. Will the ship get just pulled apart by the gravity generators? That's also one thing. I don't want the ship to just get ripped in half. Now, at the moment, the blocks are indestructible, so I need to test it without this being on. Yeah. Can we make it safe? That's another thing. So I hope for your ideas. I will end the episode here. Take a look at this gravity mess again. Hope you like the concept. Rabenschild, thank you. That was a really neat idea. And again, I definitely want to implement something like that. This is pretty cool. Good. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the episode. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Leave a comment if you have something to say about this. Take a look at the description. Again, all the links to everything, Twitter, Patreon, the mod collection for my worlds. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. See ya, guys.